Wisconsin Timber Rattlers baseball is on the air. Good afternoon, everybody, from the Lamers Bus Lines broadcast booth. It's the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and the Quad Cities River Bandits. We've got Arthur spinning the dials back at the WOSH studios, and we're saying hello to everybody watching on CW14 this afternoon. It's the Rattlers and the Bandits for the final time this season. And Jonathan, that lineup for the River Bandits has given the Rattlers and the rest of the Midwest League fits all season long.
It sure has, and Trevor Werner and Diego Guzman will make their series debut at the 8 and 9 spots in the order, but Nolan Sailors made his series debut last night and got the scoring going with a solo home run. It's going to be interesting to see how he fares against DL Hall.
Quad Cities enters play today above 500 overall. They're 43 and 42. They are 13 and 9, just one game back of the first place Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, with Beloit stuck in between them, a half game ahead of Quad Cities and a half game behind the Timber Rattlers. Rattlers yesterday, tough day in the field with a couple of errors, and here on a Brewers Sunday is that lineup today. Outfield left to right, you've got Alastre, Payne, and Castillo. Infield third to first is Baez, Gilarte, Dickinson, and Batanti. Walter is catching, and on the mound, DL Hall. He's on your picture right now if you're watching on CW14 or Bally Sports Live. Recovering from a left pectoral strain. His last appearance was on June 4th against San Francisco at home. He allowed one hit and 2 1/3 scoreless innings. He's been on the 15-day DL since, but he is working his way back. He has one previous rehab appearance for the Rattlers back in May of 2024. He pitched a scoreless inning with no hits, no walks, and one strikeout against the Beloit Skycarp here. That was over 2 years ago. And DL Hall, he's going to be a big part of this Brewers roster as they make a push for another Central Division championship. He's leading his way out onto the mound right now. Game time weather conditions today. Still a little hazy, but that air quality index dropped down below the danger mark, and we are able to start this one today. The wind is blowing out to left. It started at 5, but it's looked like it's picked up a little bit, and that is what has helped push a lot of the smoke from the Canadian wildfires away. It is 78 degrees, and we finally have a normal temperature to play in. DL Hall, the left-hander on the mound for the Rattlers, as Jonathan has mentioned, came over from the Orioles in the Corbin Burns trade in February of 2024. He was originally a 2017 draft pick, first rounder by the Orioles out of Valdosta High School in Georgia. And the left-hander on the mound right now for the Rattlers. And he is going to be facing Sailors, Gonzalez, and Mitchell. So they're going to have two left-handers and one right-hander in there. Rattlers have had a couple of rehabs this season. Quinn Priester back against South Bend. Brandon Woodruff was down in Quad Cities. And now DL Hall against Quad Cities here. The umpire lineup today brought to you by Tower Clock Eye Center. Plate umpire is Reginald Webb. He's calling balls and strikes back there. And the arbiter on the base paths this afternoon is Christian Miranda. Well, the preliminaries are all out of the way as Eric Batanti shakes hands down there with Luke Lowry, the first base coach for the River Bandits. DL Hall gets a couple of more warm-up tosses in, and we are just about set for some baseball here this afternoon. And it's the end of a tough homestand for the Rattlers. Remember, they had that Beloit series before the All-Star break. And on the Sal Frelick bobblehead giveaway day, we are finally set for baseball. Stepping in is Nolan Sailors. Sailors hit the home run in the third inning yesterday that gave the River Bandits a 1-0 lead. It was his fourth home run of the season. And this lefty-lefty matchup is all set to go as DL Hall kicks and deals at 110 and missed a little bit away. It's 1-0. Swing and a miss, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Hall made his major league debut in 2022, and he's got a broken back ground ball that goes between his legs, off his glove. Galante with the bare hand pick, but it's going to get away from him, and Sailors will be aboard on the leadoff single. Well, I know Jonathan said the other day when the Quad Cities pitcher picked one up between his legs like that, that rarely happens, and we almost had another one right there. D.L. Hall nearly picking that one, but it deflected off his glove, and Galante couldn't come up with it clean. So a leadoff single here. And Asbel Gonzalez will now bat. Gonzalez 1 for 4 with a run scored yesterday, and he'll take a ball off the outside corner. It's 1-0. Gonzalez singled and took second on an error after the Sailors home run in the third inning yesterday against Rattlers starting pitcher Jaden Dubanowitz. Dubanowitz just had one bad inning yesterday. That third inning kind of turned things sideways for him and the Rattlers. Hall's 1-1 to Gonzalez is a swing and a high pop up to left. Starting back and now racing in as a Lastre. He will call off Galante, and Gonzalez is retired, and that is out number 1 in the first inning. Change up there, and Gonzalez was way out in front of it. Hall was having a really nice season with the Brewers before the injury put him off to the side for a little bit. He's got a swing and a miss, 95, and he blew it by Blake Mitchell, another top 100 prospect in the Royal system, one of their top prospects. 24 games, 1 start, 2.03 ERA. There goes the runner. The pitch is low. The throw to second. The tag is late, and it's a stolen base. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitchell. Sailors timed it up and got to second with a stolen base. That for the River Bandits is their 201st on the season, and for Sailors his 27th. And Yannick Walter, the Rattlers catcher, is going to go out and talk things over here with Hall, with that runner at second base and 1 out. "31 innings, 32 strikeouts, 24 walks for Hall, allowing 14 hits. Opponents were hitting 140 against him at the big league level. Left-handers sets in the 1-1 to Mitchell. Fly ball foul to left. 1 ball and 2 strikes on a fastball away at 94. Mitchell, big day yesterday for him. Couple of doubles, couple of walks, couple of runs scored. The 1-2. Looped a sweeper in off the inside corner, and the count goes even to 2-2. Mitchell hitting .233 on the season, but he's got 16 homers. He's struck out 116 times, but he's walked 82. 2-2 pitch. There's a cold third strike. A sweeper broke right over the heart of the plate, and that's a Wendy's Frosty K for D.L. Hall. And there are 2 gone, and Luke Peltzer coming to the plate. That was a beautiful looking pitch there from Hall. Just darted in. And now he's got to face Luke Peltzer, the league's leading hitter, batting .336 on the year. 4 home runs and 57 RBI for Peltzer. He had an RBI triple in yesterday's game. Also scored a run going 1 for 4. Against the Rattlers this season, Peltzer is just a .259 hitter, but still very dangerous with 13 RBI in 15 games. And he's going to chop one foul up the first baseline, down by the camera pit. And the count is quickly no balls and a strike. New baseball for Hall. Looks into Walter for the sign. The runner sailors away from second. And that's a check swing on a pitch that missed a little bit away. And it's 1-1. Two-out runner at second base. 13 pitches for Hall. Is 1-1. Low, and it's 2-1 at 95. Seen him touch 96. Rattlers have some activity in their bullpen right now, as the 2-1 is a ground ball weakly hit. Hall over the field. He will flip it glove to Batanti, and that is out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Scoreless through a half inning of play. Rattlers coming up when we come back on the Timber Rattlers Broadcast Network.
A lineup card that was all over Kendry Chourio in his Midwest League debut back on the first game to start the second half of the season. Braylon Payne has yet to face Chourio, though, this season. So let's see how the Rattlers fare, facing Chourio now for a second time in a month.
Yeah, Chourio's last outing was last Sunday. He faced 3 batters in the Futures game in Philadelphia. He allowed a hit and struck out a batter without allowing a run. So 2/3 of an inning for the right-hander Chourio. No relation to Jackson Chourio, the Brewers outfielder. The first pitch to Pena is going to be in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Pena was 0 for 2 yesterday. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, stole a base, and was left stranded at third when the inning ended. Fouled off, 0-2 to Pena. Pena is in 7 games against the Bandits. He's hitting .520, 13 for 25. He's going to foul that one off. He's got 3 doubles, a triple, and 8 RBI, plus he's 5 for 5 in stolen bases. He's the DH today for the Rattlers. All set on the 0-2 from Chourio, and he'll take that one off the outside corner on a curveball, bouncing away. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chourio on the 1-2. Fly ball, center field. Just got it on the thin part of the bat, and it's going to be caught out there by Gonzalez. And there's one away. And now let's take a look at that Quad Cities defense for today's contest. The outfield left to right, you've got Peltzer, Gonzalez, and Sailors. Infield third to first, Cerise, Kemp, Guzman, and Werner. Mitchell catching, and Kendry Chourio on the mound facing Braylon Payne. Payne 1 for 2 with a strikeout against Chourio in that game back on June 19th. And that's going to miss for a ball, and it's 1-0. 97 from Chourio on that one. Rattlers won that game 12-2. Here's the 1-0. Inside off the corner, it's 2-0. Rattler bats came alive in that series. They won 12-2 and 14-1 in the first 2 games of the second half, and then got rained out on the Sunday. Here's the 2-0 to Payne. Braylon fouls one back. I'll have to do a little more research, but I am very close to about 100% positive that Braylon Payne has a chance to become the first 2020 player in Timber Rattlers history. His 2-1, swinging a foul to the plate, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He stole bases 19 and 20 yesterday in scoring the Rattlers' first run in the 6th inning, and he is on 18 home runs. Trying to join Andrew Fisher in the 20-homer club for this year as a Rattler. The 2-2. Swing and a pull foul past Andrew Romine doing the coaching at first base today. It'll get down into the right field line there, and it'll have to be picked up by Sailors. Scoreless game. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Saw Josh Noth jog in from the bullpen after the top of the first inning. So we're just going to make sure that he's going to come out for the second. As the 2-2 to Payne. Swing and a miss, strike three, and Chourio with his first strikeout. Kendry Chourio on the season in the Midwest League is 1-1 in 4 starts. 3 walks, 21 strikeouts in 19 2/3 innings coming in. He had a really nice season going with Columbia down in the Carolina League, 4-0 in 11 starts with a 1.88 ERA. Young right-hander facing Daniel Dickinson, who tried to check and did not. It's 0-1 to Dickinson. Base umpire Christian Miranda with the call on that. The 0-1 to Dickinson. Outside corner of strikes is plate umpire Reginald Webb. 2 outs, nobody on in a scoreless game in the bottom of the first. Dickinson on the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three, and the inning comes to an end. 3 up, 3 down for Chourio. We're scoreless through 1. Rattlers, River Bandits on the Rattlers Broadcast Network.
Scoreless game here in the top of the second. Josh Noth now on the mound for the Rattlers, and a great step in the right direction for DL Hall. We'll talk more about that in a second. But Josh Noth, the Brewers' number 21 prospect, will take it from here, and he will be the first to face Jose Cerise. And Noth's first offering is going to miss outside with a curveball. Rattlers went in order against Kendry Chourio. Noth, the right-handed pitcher, and the young arm deals a ball low. Fastball at 95, and it's 2-0. First appearance out of the pen for Josh Noth, but today DL Hall served as his opener. The 2-0, swinging a foul ball towards right field over the net. Cerise, 2 home runs, 26 driven in on the season. He was aboard each and every time yesterday. It's been a painful series for Jose Cerise, as the 2-1 from Noth is also sent foul towards right. Was hit by a pitch to start off the game on Friday, and then was hit 3 times yesterday. That lead arm elbow guard has taken most of the damage. Noth, the 2-2, line drive into right field, and making the catch at ankle height. Luis Castillo had to travel a little bit as Cerise chased the cutter well outside. Gave it a pretty good ride, 94 off the bat. Here's the replay for those on CW14. Great play there from Luis Castillo, and now here's Darlene Figueroa. And the lefty awaits, and the lefty fouls it off to the net. Josh Noth on the season, 2-1. He's made 9 starts. He's got a 4.05 earned run average. In his last start, it came against Beloit, the series before the All-Star game last Saturday. And the 1-0-1 rather is a big swing and a miss. Beautiful cutter. Noth got the loss in that game. Allowed 7 hits, 5 earned runs. Did have 6 strikeouts to 1 walk. The control for Noth is incredible. Here's a ground ball to first base. Eric Batanti will backhand it. Says to Josh Noth, I got this, as he takes it to the bag and takes care of business for out number 2. Final line for DL Hall today. 1 scoreless inning. He allowed that infield single. No walks, 1 strikeout, and of his 15 pitches, 9 were strikes. Faced 4 batters in that frame. That single from Nolan Sailors absolutely sliced the bat in half the long way. And the first pitch to Tyreek Kemp is upstairs. An incredible pitching matchup today, as the 1-0 is going to make it in there for a strike. Cutter upstairs, but in the zone. First we had D.L. Hall. Now it's another high leverage arm in Josh Knopf. The 1-1 just missed outside, went with the slider at 84. Tyreek Kemp 0 for 3 yesterday, struck out swinging. The only strikeout for Jaden Dubanowitz in his start last night. The 2-1, high and away. Rattlers trying to even the season series against Quad Cities. They're 9-10 against the River Bandits, and this is the final meeting of the 2026 campaign. Knopf, the windup in 3-1. Swing and a miss. Beautiful cutter, and he jammed up Tyreek Kemp inside. Quad Cities just a game behind the Rattlers in the Midwest League standings for the second half of the season. And the 3-2 is grounded to the left side. Baez spins and throws in time. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Josh Knopf. His first inning of work here in the second. And we head to the bottom of the second, still scoreless on the Timber Rattlers broadcast network. Good sightline there of I-41 for those watching on CW14. Bottom of the second inning now here at Neuroscience Group Field. It's the spot to be, and it's a scoreless game between the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and the Quad Cities River Bandits. And Eric Batanti will face Kendry Chourio on for his second inning of work. Went 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the first, and Batanti takes inside for ball 1. A late flip-flop in the lineup. Batanti for Taden Hall at the first base spot as the 1-0 is upstairs. Batanti was all over Chourio back on the 19th of June. He went 3 for 3 against Chourio with a home run and 3 RBI. The 2-0 inside. Let's see if the Rattlers can string together some base runners here against Chourio, who really, since that first game in the Midwest League against the Rattlers, has been on a roll. The 3-0. High fly to center. Very shallow center. Tyreek Kemp from shortstop is calling for it. Fighting the sun, he'll make the catch. And there's one away here in the bottom of the second inning. That'll bring up Luis Castillo, who also had a great day against Chourio back in June. Chourio was a strike away from getting out of that first inning in the Midwest League. With 2 on and in a 2-2 count, Luis Castillo hit a 2 RBI double to get the Rattlers on the board. The pitch to Castillo is a swing and a miss. Between Columbia, the Fireflies, and the Carolina League and Quad Cities, Chourio, 67 strikeouts to just 12 walks. The 0-1. Castillo takes low and in the dirt, it's 1-1. Castillo continuing to be a vital role in the Rattler offense here in the second half of the season. Realistically, the entirety of the year. Hitting .265 since that opener, June 19th. After the Rattlers fell short in the first half to South Bend. And Castillo grounds one sharply to second base. Diego Guzman will make the play. And that's out number 2. Castillo hit it 107 off the bat. Just right to the 2 spot. And that's going to bring up Daniel Galarte. Galarte was 0 for 2 against Chourio with a couple of strikeouts. The Rattlers scored 7 runs on Chourio, but only 5 were earned. And Galarte will fly it to center. And there to make the catch is Asbel Gonzalez, and the side is retired. It's been 6 up, 6 down for Kendry Chourio, and we head to the third inning, still scoreless between the Rattlers and River Bandits on the Timber Rattlers broadcast network. It's Bucks Day here at the ballpark. Bango the Buck and the Milwaukee Bucks spending the day here at Neuroscience Group Field. Really awkward time to be a Heat fan, but that's a story for a different time. It's actually a great time to be a Heat fan. You guys know what I mean. Anyway, here's Trevor Werner. He'll be followed up by Diego Guzman and Nolan Sailors. And Josh Noth in his second inning of work fires in a strike low and inside. Noth worked a 3 up, 3 down second inning. And as mentioned, this is his first time appearing out of the bullpen this season. The 0-1 just missed low. Noth, another one of the Brewers' young pitching prospects. The 1-1 pitch is in there. Fastball at 95, and it's 1-2. The so-called pitching lab, these guys describe as just the drills they have us do, the recovery process. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's a Wendy's Frosty K, and number 1 for Noth and number 2 for the Rattlers. If Wisconsin strikes out 10 River Bandits, it'll be free Wendy Frosty treats for the state of Wisconsin at participating Wendy's locations. That'll bring up Diego Guzman. A symphony of strikes there for Josh Noth, and you can see the Fox Valley Symphony Orchestra under the stars here at Neuroscience Group Field as Guzman takes strike 1. That last one at 96. Friday, July 24th at 7:30 p.m. Make sure you make your plans to be here for that great event as the 0-1 is fouled off. No cost of admission either. Free to park your car, free to walk through the gates. There are packages for concessions and food options. There will also be fireworks after the special night of music. Guzman awaits the 0-2, and Noth plants strike 3 at the top of the zone. A Wendy's Frosty K, back-to-back Ks for Noth, and number 3 for the Rattlers. The velocity for Josh Noth has been impressive so far. That last one just grazed the top of the zone, and Diego Guzman couldn't pull the trigger. Now here's Nolan Sailors. First offering to Sailors. In there for a strike. Curveball at the top of the zone. The Midwest League Report is presented by Sports Medicine Center. Lake County beat Dayton by a final of 6-2 yesterday. The 0-1. Low but in the zone. Sinker at 91, and it's quickly 0-2. Jace LaViolette went 3 for 4 and hit his 15th home run of the season. The 0-2. Half swing, he was able to check it. Sailors not biting at the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. The Loons and Whitecaps split a doubleheader yesterday. The Loons walked off game 1 in 8 innings, and then the Whitecaps won 11-2 in game 2. The 1-2 is fouled off behind the net. Another heater. Samuel Munoz scored the walk-off run for the Loons on a wild pitch, and then the Whitecap offense erupted in game 2. That wasn't the only extra innings game from yesterday, as the 1-2 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 up, 3 down, all on strikeouts, and that's the 4th Wendy's Frosty K for the Rattlers and the 3rd for Josh Noth. The Rattlers up to bat next when we come back in this scoreless game in the bottom of the 3rd on the Timber Rattlers broadcast network. A lot of impressive pitching so far in this scoreless ball game, and in the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's going to be Juan Baez leading things off for the Rattlers. Kendry Chourio, the talented right-handed pitcher, deals a ball low, breaking ball at 78. Back to the Midwest League Report presented by Sports Medicine Center. The Tin Caps beat the Lugnuts last night 2-0 in 11 innings. It was scoreless going into the 11th. As the 1-0 is in there, fastball on the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-1. But the Tin Caps scored a pair in the top of the 11th. There's still one more extra innings game to talk about from yesterday, as the 1-1 is well outside. Baez hitting 191 on the year. Peoria fell to the South Bend Cubs, 10-4 the final. The Chiefs pitching had a tough day. 7 extra base hits for South Bend. The 1-2 is flied foul. Baez a pair of home runs this year and 26 runs batted in. And then the Beloit Skycarp played a pair with the Cedar Rapids Colonels, with Beloit winning the first game in 8 innings, 3-2. The 2-2 to Baez is sent foul to the net. The Colonels were down 3-1 going into the bottom of that 8th inning. Yasser Mercedes hit an RBI double to make it 3-2, and then Eduardo Tait struck out, and then the throw on to third got Yasser Mercedes trying to steal. So that eliminated the Colonel chances of winning, but they got avenged game 2 as Baez rolls that one foul. First base side, and the battling Baez trying to rattle the mind of Kendry Chourio, who has gone 6 up, 6 down against the Rattlers today. The Colonels won game 2 against Beloit 6-0. And we'll update you all on the scores throughout the Midwest League today after this 2-2 pitch from Chourio. The pitch to Baez, up and away. Juan Baez 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts against Chourio this season. It is 8-0 West Michigan over the Great Lakes Loons in the bottom of the 6th. The 3-2, Baez swing and a miss. And he's been a strikeout victim to Chourio now 3 times this year, and that's the 3rd for Kendry Chourio today. Well, next time you're out here at Neuroscience Group Field, make sure you head on over to Brews on 3rd. It's a great spot for fans of legal drinking age to hang out, play some yard games, and try some beers from Knuth, McFleshman's, Hop Yard, and Badger State Brewing. There's a pool table, there's bags, there's a life-size game of Operation. And Louis Alastre making his second or post-All-Star break debut, taking a strike. It's 0-1. And Chourio's 0-1 pitch is outside. Alastre had a double back on the 19th against Chourio, hitting .261 against Quad Cities this year. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Fastball at 97. The heat that Chourio has been able to crank out at just 18 years old has been something special for the Royals. Rattlers trying to rattle him here today, as they did on the 19th. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's a 4th strikeout for Chourio. Even though the Rattlers got their base hits and runs against Chourio back on that 19th of June, it didn't stop him from getting 10 strikeouts. As Yannick Walter steps in, we'll finish the Midwest League report. The Lansing Lugnuts are leading the Fort Wayne Tin Caps at home 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 Dayton over Lake County in the top of the 6th. The first pitch to Walter is going to be in there for a strike. Another fastball at 97. Scoreless game between the Peoria Chiefs and South Bend Cubs. They're in the bottom of the 3rd in South Bend, Indiana. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball outside. And we'll have our eye out on the Beloit Cedar Rapids game. Skycarp leading the Colonels by a score of 3-1 in the top of the 3rd. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Walter couldn't catch up with the fastball, and it's 1-2. Walter will be the guest on tomorrow's Rattler Monday podcast. Have some fun conversations as the 1-2 is going to be low and away. Fastball at 98. The fastball for Chourio typically sits 94 to 97. Let's see if Walter can connect with one here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch. Fly ball, first base side, foul territory, Rattler dugout, and it's going to drop in front of the dugout. Trevor Werner couldn't come down with it from first base. Blake Mitchell also gave it a look. I think with both River Bandits pursuing that baseball, it may have thrown each other off. That's always a dangerous situation when you're having one eye in the sky for the fly ball and the other at where you're traveling to on the ground. The 2-2, swing and a miss, and Walter down on strikes. And like Noth, Kendry Chourio strikes out the side, and he goes the first time through the Rattler order perfect. Still scoreless as we head to the top of the fourth inning between the Rattlers and River Bandits on the Rattlers Broadcast Network. Time for the top of the fourth inning here at Neuroscience Group Field. Series finale and the season series finale between the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and the Quad Cities River Bandits. Neither team has cracked the scoring column so far. And Noth is going to try to crack Asbel Gonzalez. And his first pitch to Gonzalez is fouled off, first base side, and away we go in the fourth. The 6 batters in the third inning all went down on strikes. The pitch from Noth outside, heater at 95. Command for Josh Noth today has been on point. 28 pitches in, and 20 have been strikes. Here's the 1-1, up and in. Brewers Farm Report is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services. What happened in the Milwaukee system last night? Well, the Complex League Brewers lost a pair of games to the Dodgers on the road. The 2-1 is lined foul. They had to conclude the July 13th matchup, did the Brewers and Dodgers, in which the Dodgers scored 4 runs in the top of the 10th inning to go on to win the game 7-3. And then game 2 is all Dodgers, winning 6-0. As the 2-2 is lined past the first baseman Battanti and into right field, a base hit. The first base hit of the day that has made it past the infield. And that's the second for the Quad Cities River Bandits. Gonzalez had a double yesterday. He has reached plenty in this series. Had a pair of hits on Friday as well. That'll bring up Blake Mitchell. The Wilson Warbirds lost a tough one against the Hickory Crawdads yesterday, 5-4. First pitch to Mitchell upstairs. Alexander Frias hit a grand slam, though, in the top of the 5th inning to give the Warbirds a 4-1 lead. Wilson couldn't hold on, though, as Hickory scored 2 in the 5th, a run in the 6th, and then 1 in the 8th. Snap back to first, not in time. Rattlers have 13 pickoffs from their pitchers this year. The Biloxi Shuckers lost by 10 to the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, 16-6. A 7-run top of the second for Pensacola did it, as the heater from Noth outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Blake Mitchell. Another top Royals prospect. Blake Burke hit a home run, though. He's got 21 on the year. The 2-0 is grounded foul towards first base. Battanti made a play, but that ball was grazing the secondary line, the base runner line down the first base side. The Nashville Sounds also lost. They played the Norfolk Tides. Sounds falling 9-2 at home. Brock Wilkin hit his 9th homer of the season, 2023 Timber Rattler, as Mitchell lines one into right field, down a base hit. Gonzalez is going to try for 3, and he's going to get 3. The throw from Castillo is cut off by Galarte. And there's runners at the corners now for Luke Pelzer. Pelzer has been a problem for the Rattlers all series long. Had an RBI triple yesterday, but that's the latest of the damage in which Pelzer has been imposing. He had a 5 RBI night on Friday. Garrett Mitchell, though, has been imposing his will on the Miami Marlins this weekend. He had another great day in the 8-6 Brewer win over Miami last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. The first pitch to Pelzer is a foul ball off his foot. Took the slider at 85 and was a bit late off the end of the bat. But Mitchell went 3 for 5 with 2 RBI, scored a run as well. Christian Yelich and Jackson Chourio each drove in a pair for the Crew. Shane Drouin had 6 innings of solid work in his quality start, as the 0-1 is going to miss low. And Braden Shoemake had quite the introduction to Milwaukee Brewer fans at American Family Field. A couple of hits and an RBI. So that's everything in the system last night, as Knopf almost got the pickoff play at first. Blake Mitchell very fortunate to be standing up with a second chance. One and one the count. Here's the pitch to Pelzer, and it's lined past the glove of Knopf and into center field. That'll score a run, and it's 1-0 Quad Cities. Into second base goes Mitchell. Pelzer hit that 100 miles an hour off the bat and almost hit the bullseye of Josh Knopf's glove. That was inches away from being not only out number 1, but with the generosity of the lead from Gonzalez and Mitchell, Knopf would have certainly had time to go to either base. But hindsight's 20/20, and the River Bandits score first yet again. That's going to bring up Jose Cerise. He'll show bunts. No, they're going to say a balk on Josh Knopf. Had a bit of a hesitation there as the infield charged the bunt. And that's the 8th balk from the Rattlers this season. It's going to move Mitchell to third and Pelzer to second. Yeah, Cerise knew it too. The first pitch to Cerise. He'll swing away and send it foul. We'll talk about the scores and what's going on in the organization in the bottom half of this frame. But Luke Pelzer at second base now after the balk. 7 RBI in this series. Here's the 0-1 to Cerise. Swing and a miss. Chased a fastball well upstairs. And it's 0-2. Knopf trying to change up the location here against Jose Cerise. 2 home runs and 26 driven in this year for Jose. And the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper to shortstop. Galarte will go to first base. Scoring from third is Blake Mitchell. So it's now 2-0 Quad Cities, but the Rattlers get out number 1. Pelzer halted at second base, didn't want to run into a tag with Galarte. Unfortunately, with Game 2 being canceled last night, there was no post-game fireworks, which we have on display here at Neuroscience Group Field on Fridays and Saturdays. So stick around, win or lose, for the post-game fireworks here at the ballpark. Oh, the runner goes. What a great jump from Pelzer, and he's into third by the time the ball crossed the plate. Took off before Knopf even started his stretch. And that's a stolen base. Runner at third now with 1 out. Darlene Figueroa with a 1-0 count. Infield playing in, and the swing and a miss on a cutter makes it 1-1. Rattlers are 15-23 when their opponents score first this season. Some activity going on in the bullpen. And the pitch is a swing and a foul tip into the glove of Walter. Another heater at 96, and it's 1-2. Quinton Lowe loosening up in the Rattler bullpen. The big, tall right-handed pitcher. We owe you an ID. We'll do it after this plate appearance. And the 1-2 is a swing and a broken bat foul. And as Figueroa gets a new piece of lumber, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You were listening to Timber Rattlers Baseball. That's Darlene Figueroa getting a new bat, and that's Arthur spinning the dials back in the WOSH studios. We're coming to you live from the Lamers Bus Lines broadcast booth inside Neuroscience Group Field. Thank you for tuning in on 93.9 and 1490 WOSH. We're also on CW14, Valley Sports Live, and the internet. Last home game of the weekend before the Rattlers hit the road and head to South Bend, Indiana, facing the Cubs on the road for the first time this year. The 1-2 to Figueroa, grounded foul, first base side. Sharply hit, and it hugged the bag. There's one out, a runner at third, and the Rattlers are trailing 2-0 here in the top of the fourth inning. 3 straight singles got the scoring going for Quad Cities. Gonzalez, Mitchell, and then Pelzer scored a run. Nodding his head at the sign from Walter. From the stretch, the 1-2, up and in. Walter hesitated and looked the runner at third, and Pelzer back to the bag. Pelzer stole third base but made it to second on a balk. And the 2-2 pitch upstairs. Fastball at 95. Josh Noth currently in his third inning of work. Pitch number 49 will be coming up next. The infield still playing in, trying to get that lead runner out at the plate. Pelzer taking his lead, and here's the 3-2, and Figueroa fouls it off to the net. Rattlers trying to limit the Quad Cities River Bandits here in this inning, but they're also going to have a response against Kendry Chourio, who went 9 up and 9 down against the Rattlers first time through the order. Another payoff pitch, here it comes, and Figueroa fouls it off to the backstop. Walter maybe had a chance to hang on, but Figueroa pieced it just enough and deflected it away from the catching mitt. What's Noth got up his sleeve this time? His last pitch was a curveball fouled off. Full count delivery is popped up and also foul. It's going to reach the seats. Heads up over there. Figueroa with 17 home runs this year, hitting .270 on the season. In the second half, he's hitting .240. And he is working one heck of an at-bat against Josh Noth. Pitch number 11 coming up next. Here it comes, and that's a fly ball into right field and deep. Back at the wall, Castillo is going to watch it fly. And it is now 4-0 River Bandits on Figueroa's 18th home run of the season. That's the 4th he has hit against the Timber Rattlers, and he's driven in 14 against this season. On pitch number 11 of the at-bats, 2. Well, Josh Noth now with nobody aboard, but at the cost of a couple of runs. We'll have a quick trip to the mound now as pitching coach Pat McGuff trots his way out there to have a conversation with both Noth and Walter. 3 consecutive at-bats for Quad Cities in which they've brought a run home. Yeah, Noth got burned on a curveball right down the middle. And the Brewers' number 21 prospect has now allowed 3 home runs this season. McGuff back to the dugout, and Tyreek Kemp up to the plate. Kemp grounded out to third base. A nifty play by Juan Baez back in the second. And the first pitch from Noth is in there for a strike. Went with a 91-mile-an-hour cutter. It's Brewers Sunday, so the Rattlers are wearing their Brewer-inspired uniforms. The 0-1 is up and outside. So they got the gold and blue hats and the sharp pinstripe 1970s themed Brewer uniforms. The 1-1 is grounded to second base. It's gobbled up by Dickinson, and he'll throw to Batanti for out number 2. That's going to bring up Trevor Werner, the 7th River Bandit to step foot in the batter's box this inning. Now the Rattlers really going to need a response offensively now. They had to face David Shields yesterday, in which they couldn't get a run across until the 6th inning of a 7-inning game. And the first pitch to Trevor Werner is a curveball in and low for ball 1. North went 2 innings, 2 starts ago against Peoria back on July 5th as Werner fouls the 94-mile-an-hour fastball off, and it's 1-1. Struck out 4 in that game, and he was just terrific. That came after a couple of wins. The 2 winning decisions this year for Josh North. 5 innings in both outings. The pitch to Werner is lined into right field, and that's going to drop a base hit. Slicing towards Castillo, so it's not going to reach the gap. But Trevor Werner, the 5th base hit of the inning for Quad Cities. Remember, Werner had not played in Friday's game or Saturday. Werner now 5 for 17, or 6 for 17 against the Rattlers this season. And Diego Guzman will step in now in the righty batter box. The pitch from North, low and outside, fastball at 95. Pitch number 60 of the day for Josh North coming up next. The 1-0, half swing, but it was in there for a strike, doesn't matter. The velo for Josh North this deep in his outing is a promising sign. That one 95, good location too. Snap back to first, and they got him. Pickoff attempt successful. Number 14 for the Rattler pitching staff this season. And a big play from Josh North to get out of this inning. That's his 2nd pickoff of the season, but it's 4-0 River Bandits to the bottom of the 4th on the Rattlers Broadcast Network. They're tossing t-shirts here in the bottom of the 4th inning at Neuroscience Group Field, and the Rattlers are going to try to toss a few runs across the board against Kendry Chourio. Pena, Payne, and Dickinson due up for Wisconsin, and Chourio drops a strike. It's a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Delayed gratification as the last t-shirt is finally tossed. As the 0-1 is fouled off by Pena. Yeah, they were forcing the fans to hype themselves up before anything was going to be awarded to the crowd. Pena popped one up to center field back in the 1st inning. Big cut there from Pena, as you can see on the CW14 replay. Chourio is 0-2, and it's a breaking ball high for ball 1. Rattlers looking for their first base runner of the contest. Baez, Alastre, and Walter went down in order in the 3rd inning. The 1-2, big swing and a miss from Luis Pena. A fastball very low at 97. And there's one away. Well, next time you're here at the ballpark on a Sunday, make sure you stick around for the post-game autographs. It's presented by Fox Cities Cards, and it's a tradition here at Neuroscience Group Field. John Hancock's after every Sunday home game. You can get Braylon Paynes, he's at the plate right now. You can get Daniel Dickinson's, he's on deck. You can also get Nick Stanley's, he's the manager and he's the 3rd base coach right now. The first pitch to Payne is a swing and a miss. Fastball at 96. Boy, someone has got to get the ball to the barrel here against Chourio because he is heating up. Breaking ball is up high. 6 strikeouts, no walks for Kendry Chourio, the #1 Royal prospect. The 1-1 to Payne. Big swing and a miss. Fastball at 95. A very promising future for Kendry Chourio, who has just had his way today. Hasn't always been like that against the Rattlers this year for Chourio, as the 1-2 is just a bit low. Of course, the Rattlers beat the River Bandits 12-2 back on June 19th when Chourio made his Midwest League debut. We'll get to the Brewers Farm Report after this 2-2 pitch to Braylon Payne. Here it comes, and Payne a swing and a miss. 7 strikeouts now for Kendry Chourio, and here's Daniel Dickinson with 2 away. The Complex League Brewers don't have any baseball today. They have suspended play in the top of the first inning between the Wilson Warbirds and Hickory Crawdads. Wilson was leading 6-0, and Dickinson sends the breaking ball foul to the backstop. They also had runners at the corners with 2 out. Brady Ebel was at the plates. Biloxi and Pensacola will play at 5:05. Shuckers and Blue Wahoos. Dickinson a ground ball to short, backhanded by Kemp, and the throw across his body to first is in time for the final out of the inning. Sounds and Norfolk Tide will play later as well, and the Brewers are battling the Marlins. That's your Brewers Farm Report, and we head to the 5th inning. It is still River Bandits 4, Rattlers nothing on the Rattlers Broadcast Network. Rattlers trying to pencil in some runs as they trail 4-0 in the top of the 5th. Josh Knopf is back on the mound, and Chris Merring is back behind the mic.
Jonathan, thank you very much. Diego Guzman will lead it off. He was at the plate when Trevor Werner was picked off first to end the top of the 4th inning. And he swings and misses at the first pitch. It's 0-1. That was a rough 4th inning for Knopf. The 0-1. Line drive, left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. That's 6 off of Knopf and 7 for the best hitting team in the Midwest League. Quad Cities entered play today hitting .269 as a team. And they have the leadoff man aboard, and we're back around at the top of the order. It's Nolan Sailors, who had that infield single off of D.L. Hall and struck out in the 3rd against Knopf. He's going to bunt up the 3rd baseline. Charging Baez, throws to first in time. And it's a 5-3 sacrifice, moving Guzman down to second base. Another sacrifice bunt for the River Bandits. You don't have to make a sacrifice to slide down the Capital Credit Union slide. It's a lot of fun moving down that slide. Great view from up top. And a quick trip to the bottom. That's the Capital Credit Union slide, about there beyond the left field wall. Nolan Sailors retired. Here's Asbel Gonzalez. Gonzalez started that 4th inning with a base hit off of Knopf. He scored on the base hit by Peltzer. He was very aggressive going 1st to 3rd on the base hit by Blake Mitchell. Well, you just go back over that inning as Gonzalez takes high. And you just remember Peltzer with the line drive back up the middle that just missed the glove of Knopf. And then the balk. There's a fly ball right center field. Castillo on the move over. He'll make the catch. The runner will hold at second base. And there are 2 away here in the 5th inning. Jose Cerise had squared to bunt with runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out. And what it looked like was the Rattlers had a pickoff play on for everybody, and Knopf missed the signal because Gilarte was standing on second ready to take the throw, and Knopf just stopped his delivery halfway through, and that's a balk. Next batter grounds out to short. That would have been a double play ball with 1st and 2nd. course, if it's first and second, Cerise is probably bunting anyway, so just can't play that counterfactual game. Swing and a miss at the 1-0 to Mitchell, and it's 1-1. And then you had the 11-pitch at bat for Darlene Figueroa that ended with a home run out on the party deck out there. 18th home run of the season for Figueroa, putting him on 60 RBI. 1-1 misses up, and it's 2-1. Rattlers down 4-0 in the top of the fifth, and they're still looking for their first base runner against Kendry Chourio. He has gone 12 up, 12 down through 4 innings with 7 strikeouts on just 51 pitches. Swing and a foul tip at the plate, and it's 2-2. Mitchell struck out looking on a really good sweeper from D.L. Hall in the first inning, but then had that base hit and scored a run in that 4th inning for the River Bandits. The set to 2-2 from North. Went upstairs with a fastball, and laying off that was Mitchell. He's got a good eye and a good idea of the strike zone. Sometimes that's not quite the same thing. I will take no questions and I will not explain. Here's the 3-2. Fly ball, right field and deep. This ball is going to get back to the track and the wall, and it's going to go. A high, towering drive for Blake Mitchell. A 2-out, 2-run homer on a 3-2 pitch, and it's 6-0 Quad Cities. Home run number 17 for Mitchell. He now has 51 RBI. Quad Cities, they don't hit many home runs, but they have against the Rattlers. Quad Cities with 2 home runs today, 77 on the season. They have hit 24 of those 75 home runs against the Rattlers. 2 outs, bases empty for Peltzer. That one got the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Boy, Mitchell just tagged up a 3-2 pitch and launched it into orbit. Peltzer fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Yeah, Blake Mitchell, he was at the Futures game last Sunday too, representing the Royals in the American League victory. Here's the 0-2 to Peltzer. Ground ball to the right side. Diving stop off the glove of Batante, and it'll be another base hit for Peltzer, like he needs another one. 2-out infield single for Peltzer extends the inning to Cerise. Lowe continues to loosen in the Rattlers bullpen, and he is going to get the call as Nick Stanley is on his way out to the mound. Josh Noth kind of deserved a better fate today. Tough day for Noth as he goes 3 2/3 innings. He's allowed 8 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 2 homers, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. And he is still responsible for Peltzer at first base as Quentin Lowe makes his way already to the mound, the big right-hander. Noth also had a pickoff and committed a balk. 75 pitches, 52 strikes.
And just the axis on the home runs, both from Darlene Figueroa and Blake Mitchell, neither hit all that hard off the bat, but they were high and they were deep. And sometimes that's just all you need.
Yeah, they both have pretty good power. Wind is barely blowing you, so you can't just, the wind blowing home runs. No, they got enough of it to get it out. So Rattlers go to Quentin Lowe, making his 21st appearance of the season. Lowe 4-0 with a save, 29 innings, 32 walks, 39 strikeouts. He is facing Quad Cities for the 5th time in 6 2/3 innings. No record, no saves. 4 hits, 4 runs, 8 walks, and 11 strikeouts for the right-hander out of Colorado. Lowe was a 13th round pick in 2021, again working his way back. And he's on for Josh Noth with the Rattlers trailing 6-0. Well, the Rattlers were down 6-0 yesterday after 5 innings. They only had 2 hits yesterday against David Shields through 2 innings. All right, here's Jose Cerise, 0 for 2 with an RBI grounder. Ground ball towards short, cut off by Baez, and he bobbles, and everybody's going to be safe. Cut that off in front of Gilarte, trying to make the play on Cerise. Not a hard hit ball. Man, I tell you, everything that Quad Cities has hit the last couple of innings just seems to drop in. Going to have a conversation here between Jesus Asuaje and plate umpire Reginald Webb. The runner at second, Pelzer, is kind of off the base, and now it's Miranda, the base umpire, coming in to talk with Reginald Webb. Not sure what this discussion would be about unless there was maybe catcher's interference on Walter, and they would maybe take the play here. I'm not sure again. And now after the discussion between the umpires, let's take a look and see what we got here. There might be a call for interference on Dickinson, as the replay didn't quite run all the way through there. I didn't quite catch the whole play, but it is first and second. Nope. No contact with the glove there, or was there?
Watch the bat.
Oh, the bat
the
on
follow through, I think, got Walter in the back.
But that's not interference. That's just making contact on a follow through. That's now both umpires are over talking to Nick Stanley here. Quentin Lowe's going to stay loose on the mound. And the end result is just going to be a base hit. I'm not sure, because if there was a discussion about interference on Walter, the conversation would have gone over maybe with Nick Stanley first. But here's Figueroa. 2 on, 2 out. Outside ball, and it's 1-0. Figueroa with an 11-pitch at bat before he hit a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. That bumped the Quad Cities lead up to 4-0. They have added 2 here on a 2-run homer by Blake Mitchell, and now 2 on with 2 out. And Lowe misses low. Quad Cities with a win today. They would claim the tiebreaker outright on the Timber Rattlers, winning the season series 11-9. And there's a line drive into the right center field gap, and Figueroa is going to have extra bases and 2 more RBI. Scoring Pelzer, scoring Cerise. Around for third goes Figueroa, and he's in with a belly flop slide and no throw. And it's now 8-0 Quad Cities, as Figueroa adds 2 more RBI to his tally after that triple. And that's 4 straight 2-out hits for the Bandits in this inning. Four-run 4th and now a 4-run 5th. And Tyreek Kemp, who is 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs, steps in. There's a strike, and it's 0-1 from Lowe. Talked about the Rattlers. They will be in South Bend this week to start a series with the Cubs. The 0-1 to Kemp. Outside corner, a strike, and it's 0-2. Quad Cities is going to stay in Wisconsin, and they go to Beloit. That'll be a huge series for both of those teams. The 0-2 to Kemp. Got him looking 99 on the outside corner from Lowe, and that is a Wendy's Frosty K. That's number 5 for the Rattlers. We're halfway to free Frosty treats for the state of Wisconsin at Wendy's locations tomorrow. But it's 8-0 Quad Cities as they score 4 in the top of the 5th. This is Timber Rattlers baseball on the Rattlers Broadcast Network. Bottom 5 coming up. Rattlers trail it 8-0. They're still looking for their first base runner, too, against Kendry Chourio. And that's going to hit the outside corner to Eric Batanti. Batanti was a late addition to the lineup today. Taden Hall, a late scratch. Foul ball up the first baseline past Andrew Romine. Batanti popped out to short in the second in his only at bat. Chourio on the 0-2. Missed in, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Batanti had one of his 2 5-hit games this season against Quad Cities. He's done well against the Bandits. The 0-2 here is a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's 8 strikeouts now for Kendry Chourio as he has gone 13 up and 13 down in this afternoon's contest. Getting a master class from a young pitcher and a young pitching prospect in the Royals system today. Luis Castillo now batting, grounded out to short his last time up. Chourio struck out the last 2 batters of the first, struck out 5 in a row with the sign-in order in the 3rd and the first 2 in the 4th, and now gets Batanti here to start the 5th. Castillo on the 1-0 takes off the outside corner on a curveball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0. Castillo lays off that one up high, and it's 3-0. Taking all the way, takes a strike, and it's 3-2. Just a little fastball in there at 94. Get me over from Chourio. Now 3-1 to Castillo. Inside ball 4, and the Rattlers have their first base runner. Well, let's see if that little pebble starts an avalanche here as we have the Rattlers trailing 8-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Up steps Daniel Gilarte. Chourio still under 60 pitches. He hasn't really had an uncomfortable at bat yet today. We just had the Sal Frelick bobblehead today. The next bobblehead coming up is on Dinosaur Night. It's the Whiffer bobblehead presented by Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin on the 29th. Fouled off. There is also a special Timber Rattlers dinosaur package that includes a Timber Rattlers dinosaur-themed jersey on that night. Wednesday, July 29th, that is a night game, 6:40, Rattlers and Lugnuts. Gilarte on the 0-1 pitch from Chourio. Swings and misses 95 up out of the zone, and it's 0-2. Gilarte flew out to center in the second. That's his only plate appearance today. That 7-inning game yesterday, Blabberg Diaz was the number 9 hitter in the Rattler order. He only got 2 plate appearances. That was how efficient Quad City's pitching was yesterday between David Shields and LP Langevin. Here's the 0-2, Gilarte. Inside off the corner at the belt buckle, and it's 1-2. Rattlers off tomorrow. I think I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. As the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball locked him up for strike 3. That one dropped in right over the heart of the plate on a breaking ball. And that's 9 strikeouts now for Chourio. He struck out 10 Rattlers in that game back on the 19th of June. That is his professional high. Took him 6 innings to do that. But the Rattlers got to him for a bunch of hits in that ball game too. And runs. Swing and a miss by Baez, who is strikeout victim number 3. Now it's going to be Freddie Peralta against Jacob Mizrowski in the Brewers-Mets game. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball in. Brewers, by the way, trailing the Marlins 1-0. They're through 5 down at American Family Field. Rattlers still looking for their first hit. They've got their first base runner in Castillo. He's at first after the 1-out walk. 2 outs in Baez on the 1-1 pitch from Chourio. Swinging a little nubber to right, over to field it, and bobble it is Guzman. Everybody's safe. That was a little squibber towards right. He had a long way to go to get to that one. I wouldn't want to be an official scorer in this one because he gets over and he's got time if he fields it. I mean, I'd give him a hit, but everybody knows I'm a homer. Our official scorers are a little more subjective, or a little more neutral when it comes to that stuff. And that does go up as an E4. I think that's the right call on Guzman there. Baez not the quickest on the team. The 0-1 to Alastre is a swing and a foul back, and it's 0-2. And on review on that replay, you see that Guzman didn't have as far to go as it looked live. That ball did have some weird spin on it, though. So 2 on, 2 out for Alastre with the Rattlers down 8-0. And that one inside nearly nipped the elbow guard on Alastre at 96. Yimi Presinol is starting to loosen in the Quad Cities bullpen as the 1-2 from Chourio to Alastre. Outside 2-2. Rattlers at least have his pitch count up a little bit. There's Presinol. Next pitch from Chourio will be his 70th of the afternoon. Alastre struck out back in the 3rd. Waits on this 2-2 from Chourio. And that's going to miss up and away, and it's 3-2. So the runners will be off here. Castillo from 2nd and Baez from 1st. The 3-2. Runners go, and there's ball 4 high, and the Rattlers have them loaded for Yannick Walter. Chourio's pitch count in the Midwest League. His last Midwest League start was over 10 days ago. It was on the 8th against Peoria. He worked just 3 innings in that game, threw 51 pitches. His pitch count in the Midwest League has reached as high as 89. That was against Cedar Rapids back on July 2nd. And we got a quick trip to the mound brought to you by Quick Trip, as Derek Lewis is on the way out and now on the way back. Doesn't have much to say here except maybe just get after this guy. 2 walks and an error have loaded the bases for the Rattlers, who trail it 8-0. Walter struck out back in the 3rd. Ball missed. It's 1-0. Jonathan mentioned he'll have Yannick Walter on Rattler Monday tomorrow on the Rattlers Spotify channel. We'll also have the post-game podcast today after this one on Spotify, as Walter got a strike on the outside corner at 95, and it's 1-1. 8-0 Quad Cities leads it, but the Rattlers with their first real threat of the afternoon. 3 on, 2 out. And Walter on the 1-1 swings through that one, and it's 1-2. Yeah, we've got DL Hall's media availability after his 1-inning outing today. He was getting up to leave that, and I said, thank you, and I hope we never see you up here again. Sounds like he's heading to Nashville, or with Nashville on the road next week. That's what he said. The 1-2. Walter fights one foul to the screen, and it's still a ball and 2 strikes. Chourio's pitch count up to 75 now. Three on, 2 out in the 1-2 pitch. Walter goes down swinging at strike 3, and that's 10 for Chourio as the Rattlers leave him loaded. 6th inning coming up, 8-0. Quad Cities on the Timber Rattlers Broadcast Network. Top of 6 is here. Timber Rattlers trail this one by a score of 8-0, and it's going to be Quentin Lowe back out there to face Trevor Werner, Diego Guzman, and Nolan Sailors. 8-9-1 in the River Bandits batting order. Werner is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout, and he also was picked off first base by Noth. That happened in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Trevor Werner on the season, hitting 194 with 6 homers and 17 RBI. Takes that one for a ball at 98 from Lowe. But in 6 games now against Wisconsin, he is 6 for 17. Werner is. Fly ball down the right field line. He's got a homer and a couple of RBI. The 1-2 from Lowe. Ground ball to third. Baez has it. Steps and throws across to Battanti, and there's one away. This date in Timber Rattlers history, July 19th, 1999. The Rattlers won 14-1 at Peoria. All 9 Rattler batters had at least 1 hit. 8 of the 9 to hit had at least 1 RBI, and 7 of the 9 scored at least 1 run. Juan Silvestre and P.J. Williams each had 2 hits, a homer, and 3 RBI. Guzman takes up and in at 98, and it's 1-0. July 19th, 2002, the Rattlers beat Beloit 5-4 at home in 12 innings. Eddie Menchaca's 2-out walk-off single in the bottom of the 12th won it. Rattlers rallied from a 4-1 deficit. They won that game in front of a then record crowd of 6,660. Big crowd that night, 2002. 2 balls, no strikes to Guzman here with 1 out and nobody aboard in the 6th inning. And Lowe is going to get a swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Hoping for a big crowd on July 30th. That'll be Gladiator night, or Gladiators night. Appearances by Tower and Diamond from the legendary TV show. Here comes the 2-1. Fouled straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Tower and Diamond going to be here. That's coming up on Thursday, July 30th, with the Rattlers taking on the Lansing Lugnuts. Tower and Diamond will have a free meet and greet. 2-2. Popped up right field. Over towards the line. Castillo on the long run, but that's going to wind up on the berm over the safety netting. And it's 2-2 to Guzman. Rattlers' 6th inning will be Pena, Payne, and Dickinson. Rattlers still in search of their first hit, but it looks like they won't get it off of the starting pitcher in Kendry Chourio. Here's the 2-2 from Lowe. Low and away, 3-2. Yimi Presinol continues to loosen in the bullpen. Actually, I take that back. Is that Presinol? Was looking through my reading glasses. Got a little blurry in the distance. Ball high, and it's ball 4 at 98, so it's a 1-out walk to put Guzman aboard and bring Nolan Sailors to the plate. It is no longer Presinol. That's what it is. It's Emmanuel Reyes. Reyes was supposed to be the Game 2 starter yesterday, but with yesterday's second game canceled due to the air quality index being so high, Reyes is going to get the 6th. Lowe has to get us to the bottom of the 6th as he hit the top of the zone there to Sailors. Sailors is 1 for 2. He had a single off the glove of D.L. Hall, struck out in the 3rd against North, and then had a sacrifice bunt in the 5th. Lowe is going to miss with that one at 97, and it's 1-1. July 19th, 2010, the Rattlers beat Great Lakes 4-3 at home. Throw to first, back safely over there is going to be Guzman. Rattlers were down 3-1 going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Kentrell Davis tied the game with a 2-out, 2-run double. There's a ground ball weakly hit. Charging Dickinson. Glove hand flip is over the bare hand of Batanti. Batanti throws down to second, and the ball is off of Gilarte's glove. Scoring all the way from first on that play will be Guzman, and it's 9-0. We'll probably get 2 errors out of that. And it's just that kind of day for the Rattlers. Dickinson charging and trying to make a glove hand flip to Batanti to retire Sailors. And the glove hand flip goes over the bare hand, and then Sailors, I'll tell you, if Gilarte grabs that ball and drops the tag, they've got Sailors. But once it deflected away, Guzman comes around to score. Here's Gonzalez now. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. Still waiting for the scoring on that play. They might give a base hit on that play to Sailors. There's a ball in the dirt. It pops off of Walter out in front of the plate, and Lowe picks it up. Once that ball got by Quentin Lowe, it was going to be a difficult play. And then Dickinson trying to flip it just from the glove. It was wild. Not sure if you're going to give an error on that to allow Sailors to advance, and then an error maybe on Gilarte for a missed catch to let Guzman to score. There is a ball high at 96. They do have 2 errors up on the board for the Rattlers right now. So there were 2 errors on that play. 2-1 to Gonzalez. There's a strike on the outside corner, and it's 2-2. There is also a hit up on the board. But I think they may have scored it the way I thought they were going to, as Lowe bluffs back to second base. Two-two. Missed in, and it's 3-2. Peyton Nix is loosening in the Rattlers bullpen. Peyton was supposed to start game 2 yesterday for the Rattlers. Timeout asked for here by Gonzalez. It does go as a single for Sailors. Throwing error by Dickinson and missed catch error by Gilarte is what allowed Guzman to score. The 3-2. Dropped it in low, and it's ball 4, and that's the second walk of the inning. And here comes Blake Mitchell. And also Pat McGough, Rattlers pitching coach, on his way out for a quick trip to the mound. Brought to you by Quick Trip. Yeah, so 16 years ago today, the Rattlers were trailing Great Lakes 3-1 going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Kentrell Davis ties the game with a 2-out, 2-run double. And then Chris Davis drove in Kentrell Davis with the RBI single for the walk-off win against the Loons. And July 19th, 2018, the Rattlers beat Dayton 1-0 in 10 innings at home. Christian Togner, Michael Peterson, who has been pitching for Miami this week, and Clayton Andrews combined on the 5-hit shutout. Here's Blake Mitchell on the pitch from Lowe, and it's going to be off the outside corner. Mitchell homered in the 5th inning. That was off of Noth. 1 in, 2 on, 1 out. Top of 6. Outside 2-0. Manny Pena went 1 for 3 with a walk for the Rattlers that day on a rehab assignment from the Brewers. The only run of that 1-0 10-inning game was a Peyton Henry walk-off sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 10th. Here's the 2-0. There's a ball, and it's 3-0. Lowe and Walter both thought they caught the zone with that one. Instead, it's 3-0 to Mitchell. A game Quad Cities leads 9-0. And there's a strike. That one caught the top of the zone. Quentin looking for a ground ball here. Hit one at somebody, turn 2, get out of here. The 3-1 instead is a bluff back to second. I'll tell you, that walk-off win against Dayton, that started a run where the Rattlers just down the stretch in 2018, they were picking up walk-off wins, and they were right down to the second to last day before they got knocked out of the playoffs that year, but they were in that longer than they probably should have based on a bunch of late comebacks. Fouled off, 3-2. Get knocked out by Kane County on the Sunday before Labor Day in 2018. That was one of the toughest days calling Timber Rattlers baseball, and there's ball 4 outside at 99, and another walk by Lowe is third of the inning. The bases are loaded with 1 out. And Luke Peltzer, who is 2 for 3, is coming up, but he will be facing a new Rattlers pitcher. Nick Stanley pops out of the dugout to make the call to the bullpen here. And it's going to be Peyton Nix coming in to replace Quentin Lowe. Again, a tough inning for Quentin here. Tough inning for the defense. And I tell you what, with Nix coming in, we have a few moments here. So as we have reached the top of the hour, or just about, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Timber Rattlers Baseball. That is Arthur spinning the dials back in the WOSH studios today. We're coming to you from the Lamers Bus Lines broadcast booth inside Neuroscience Group Field. Rattlers trail it 9-0. Happy to have you along with us on the radio on CW14. On the internet, however you're following Timber Rattlers baseball this afternoon. Again, the Rattlers will be in South Bend this week. Eastern time zone means 6:05 start on Tuesday. We will have an 11:05 a.m. start on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we will have a scheduled start time of 6:05 from South Bend. And then Sunday is a 1:05 time start, 1:05 Central Time start, as the Rattlers will make their only visit into South Bend in the regular season. Rattlers, of course, hoping to make the playoffs and face South Bend in the first round. But there is a long way to go between now and then. Peyton Nix gets a weak ground ball towards short. Gilarte's second one, that's all they'll get. So Peltzer knocks in his second run tonight with a fielder's choice. Mitchell is out at second, 6-4 on the weak ground ball, but Sailors will score. Gonzalez takes third, and it's now 10-0 Quad Cities. Nix came right in and got after his batter. Now Cerise takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Nix is facing Quad Cities for the first time. Dependable out of the bullpen for the Rattlers since coming up from Wilson with Jaden Dubanowitz a couple of weeks ago. Popped up foul, first base side, out of play. Sixth appearance of the season for Nix. 12 2/3 innings, 2 walks and 14 strikeouts. I was looking forward to seeing what he could do as a starter in Game 2 yesterday. I don't know what it is, but the last couple of times the Rattlers have tapped a bullpen guy to get a start in the second game of a doubleheader. There's a line drive, left field base hit that'll score another run to make it 11-0. Scoring from third is Gonzalez. And Cerise knocks in his second run with his second hit. Remember, Tanner Perry was supposed to start Game 2 of a couple of doubleheaders against Great Lakes. And both games got rained out that he was supposed to start and never got a chance. He was really hyped up for it. I had to go digging to find his last start because he has been a reliever since joining the Brewers organization. Same for Nix since signing out of Kankakee Community College. Here's Figueroa. He's got a triple and a home run and 4 RBI today in 3 at-bats. 2-run homer in the 4th, 2-run triple in the 5th, and now here he is in the 6th. River Bandits have sent 8 men to the plate in each of the last 3 innings. And there's a line drive right at Dickinson to end the inning. 3 more runs score, though. There were 2 costly errors and 2 left aboard. 11-0 Quad Cities over the Rattlers on the Timber Rattlers Broadcast Network. It's the Woodman's Market home run inning. Paul Moderson of Kaukauna is our contestant. Rattler homer in this inning. It's $100 to Paul Moderson. A $100 gift card from Woodman's Market going to Kaukauna. New pitcher on, Emmanuel Reyes will face Luis Pena. Rattlers still looking for their first hit. They loaded the bases in the bottom of the fifth inning with 2 outs after an error and a walk. But Kendry Chourio ended the inning with his 10th strikeout. You know what? Send him up to Northwest Arkansas. I don't think he needs to prove anything else in the Midwest League this season. Get him on the flight today. Here's the 1-1 to Pena. Swing a little number up the first baseline. It's going to spin foul just before Werner could get to the baseball. So second life here for Pena in this at-bat. Chourio went 5 innings, no hits, no runs, walked 2, struck out 10. And Chourio, 77 pitches, 49 strikes. He's in line for his second win of the season. Rattler is just struggling against the Quad City starters. Last 2 days, Pena fouls off 97 from Reyes. I'll tell you, Reyes isn't a guy you're going to just tee off on either. He can run it up there pretty good. The 1-2 to Pena. Popped him up. Foul first base side. Werner shading his eyes behind the coach's box on the grass, makes the catch. And there's one away in the 6th. Reyes, 6-3 in 16 starts this season. 78 2/3 innings pitched, 32 walks, and 66 strikeouts. Against Wisconsin, Reyes is 3-0 in 4 starts. 19 innings, 6 runs, 6 walks, and 15 strikeouts. Braylon Payne will take a strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Payne 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts today. Both against Chourio. Reyes saw the 1-1 to Payne. Fouled it back. Fouled back again, and it's still 1-2. The 1-2 to Payne. Bounced it in front of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some new baseballs for the plate umpire there, and that turned into a little bit of a thing. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Reyes comes out of the bullpen throwing some smoke and gets 2 outs. And here's Daniel Dickinson. The Snake Pit Team Store will be open while the Timber Rattlers are on the road. You can stop out during regular business hours, or you can order online 24 hours a day from the Timber Rattlers website. Get your Timber Rattlers gear, Undertuggers, Granjeros, frozen pizzas, brats, and more, all coming up from the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers Snake Pit Team Store. Dickinson takes a ball, and it's 1-0. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Dickinson takes low and away from Reyes. Quad City's getting hot at the right time. Jonathan talked about it yesterday. They started the second half just awful, but then they ran together a big 7-game winning streak. If they win this one today, they will have swept the Rattlers and moved into a tie with Wisconsin at 14-9. There's a called strike, and it's 2-2. Now the Beloit Skycarp, they're just a half game behind the Rattlers going into play today. The 2-2, swinging a fly ball to right, timed up by Sailors, and the Rattlers go down in order. 11-0 Quad Cities. We go to the 7th on the Timber Rattlers broadcast network. Top of 7 coming up. Beloit, by the way, on top of Cedar Rapids 12-4. They would move up a half game on the Rattlers and a half game up on Quad Cities if these scores hold. And now holding down the fort in the broadcast booth, it's Jonathan Tim.
First pitch from Peyton Nix is outside for ball one. Thank you, Chris. Against Tyreek Kemp. Bottom of the order, due up here in this frame for Quad Cities. Nix quick to get back to his stretch. No windup for Peyton as the 1-0 is in there. And it's 1-1. Tyreek Kemp stepped in front of the plates almost immediately after the ball crossed the plane. Slider at 82 there. Good looking pitch from Peyton, who got the final 2 outs of that 3-run Quad Cities 6th. The 1-1 up and away, went with the sinker at 92. Speaking of sinkers, that appeared to be D.L. Hall's specialty along with the sweeper. Plenty of velo from D.L. making a rehab assignment today with the crew, or with the Rattlers from the crew as the 2-1 is outside. Peyton Nix is turning into a potentially very valuable piece in this organization if he isn't already. The 3-1. Swinging a fly ball fouled towards the first base side and into the seats. Nix incredibly reliable at giving you multiple innings out of the bullpen. His 6th appearance for the Rattlers this year. Today's his first time dealing with inherited runners, though, as the 3-2 is grounded to shortstop. Galarte is there, and he fires to first in time for out number 1. Well, Neon Night is coming up here at the ballpark. It's presented by Focus, and it's coming on July 31st. The first 1,000 fans in attendance can help light up the ballpark night sky with a neon foam glow stick, courtesy of Focus. There will be fireworks after, so be sure to stick around to watch the sky lit up as well. Here's Trevor Werner. And Nix deals a strike upstairs. Nix now a full inning of work today. Went 2 innings against Beloit back on July 10th, 2 scoreless innings. The 0-1 to Werner, outside. Werner today, 1 for 3. Was part of a very impressive 3rd inning by Josh Noth, who struck out Werner, Guzman, and Sailors. The 1-1 fouled off to the seats. Good looking slider, and it jammed up Werner on the inside part of the plate. Nix went 3 innings against the Peoria Chiefs on the 5th of July. Got the win in that contest as well. Year 1 in professional baseball for Peyton Nix. And the 1-2 is going to be low and in. Change up in the dirt, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Was 3-1 with the Wilson Warbirds this year, had a pair of saves. Pitched 14 games in the Carolina League. And the 2-2, just a bit inside. Signed with the Brewers over a commitment to Purdue University. And for an Indiana native, that's an incredibly high honor, as the 3-2 is fouled off to the net. But I'm sure any Indiana high school pitching prospect would take the Brewers over the Big Ten. Big Ten got a whole lot stronger with the addition of UCLA as the 3-2 is lined down the third base line and all the way to the corner. Werner on his way to second. Retrieving that baseball is Louis Alastre. And the 108-mile-an-hour double from Trevor Werner is his second hit of the contest. His 7th double of the season and his second against the Rattlers this year. That was down the line and to the wall in a hurry. 1 on now for Diego Guzman. Bandits about to finish their 4th time through the order. Nix from the stretch, and Guzman takes upstairs. Fastball at 91. Guzman has scored twice today. He's one of 4 River Bandits to do so, and all of the Quad Cities runs have come in innings 4, 5, and 6. The 1-0. Backdoor slider, and it's in there for strike 1. Front door, rather. Got the inner part of the plate just on the corner. Guzman walked his last time up in the 6th inning, in which Quad Cities scored 3 times. Nix the pitch, and it's a grounder to shortstop. Gilarte will force back the runner in Werner and fire to first in time for out number 2. Pair of ground balls to Gilarte, making up the duration of Nix and his 7-inning outs. Yeah, especially as we go back to the conversation about Big Ten baseball, in the NIL era, it can be tempting for players to maybe decline a late round draft choice and go ahead with the college baseball. Swinging a ground ball from Nolan Sailors to Daniel Dickinson, who underhand scoops and tosses to Batanti in time, and a scoreless inning for Peyton Nix. Sends us to stretch time with the River Bandits still leading 11-0 over the Rattlers. Let's see if the Bats can get to work when we come back on the Rattlers Broadcast Network. Emmanuel Reyes is back on the mound for Quad Cities, and the Rattlers are going to try to get to him here in the bottom of the 7th, trailing Quad Cities 11-0. Rattlers are 16 for 72 against Reyes this season, as the first pitch to Batanti is right down the middle, but Batanti does have one of Wisconsin's 2 home runs against Reyes. Josiah Ragsdale, who was very good against Reyes, has the other. And the 0-1 is a fastball down the middle. Batanti 0 for 2 today, trying to put the Rattlers in the hit column. The 0-2 outside. Back to the fastball, also at 96. Batanti has drawn 2 walks against Reyes this season. The 1-2, swing and a miss. And that's the 12th strikeout for Quad Cities and their pitching staff today. Well, make sure you mark your calendars for the September 23rd Wisconsin Timber Rattlers charity golf outing. A great day to hit the links, play a few rounds, and raise some money for the Timber Rattlers Give Back, the official 501c3 of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, at Shamrock Heights Golf Course, as Castillo did not go around, says Christian Miranda, and it's 1-0. Don't be like me, though, who lost one of my driver heads at Shamrock Heights Golf Course, as the 1-0 is low. Yeah, back when I was in my shafting days. I still am. And it's 2-0, but you can one-up everybody at Shamrock Heights Golf Course. It's a Wednesday, and you won't want to miss it. The 2-0, Castillo flies it to the net foul. Castillo was the first base runner of the game for Wisconsin back in that 5th inning. Rattlers had a little something going there. The 2-1, low and away. Baez had hit a 67-mile-an-hour line drive to second. It took a hop, and Diego Guzman could not field it cleanly, and that extended the inning with 2 out. The 3-1. Castillo flies another one foul over our heads, and now it's 3-2. And then Louis Alastre drew a walk to load the bases. That was back when it was 8-0 Quad Cities. And the 3-2 is a swing and a miss. Down goes Castillo on strikes. That's going to bring up Daniel Galarte, rather. Not to get him confused with Yannick Walter. Galarte, who's been battling some injuries this year, playing in his 27th game with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers in this 2026 season. And he grounds a sharp one to shortstop, and on a hop, Tyree Kempe throws it a bit high, but in time. Galarte with a fabulous swing there, 102 off the bat, just right to the defense, and the side is retired. We're through 7 here at Neuroscience Group Field. To the 8th we go. Quad Cities 11, Rattlers nothing on the Rattlers Broadcast Network. Top of the 8th inning now between the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and Quad Cities River Bandits. QC leads 11-0 over Wisconsin, and Chris Merring is back for the 8th inning.
And Yerlin Rodriguez is on the mound, and he's all set to go against Asbel Gonzalez, who takes the ball low at 97 from Yerlin. Thank you, Jonathan. Tough day for the Rattlers. Down 11-0, getting no hit through 7 innings. The 1-0 pitch to Asbel Gonzalez is going to get in for a strike, and it's 1-1. The last time Quad Cities threw a no-hitter was also the last time the Rattlers were no-hit. It was on June 18th, 2021. The Rattlers got no hit at Quad Cities. There's a ball down low. That was a topic of conversation when the Rattlers were down in Quad Cities on the anniversary of that game, which also happened to be the final game of the first half. Gonzalez fouls one off his back. And his back to the plate on the follow-through of his swing, and the ball bounced up and got him. Right in the side. 2-2 on the way. Yerlin got him looking. Just locked him up there for strikeout, his first. And that's 6 Wendy's Frosty K's for the Rattlers. Yerlin getting some work today. He is making his team-leading 26th appearance of the season. 2-0 with 3 saves, 32 walks, 36 strikeouts now in 26 2/3 innings pitched, and he's going to pop one in at 97 to Blake Mitchell. Mitchell struck out in the first against D.L. Hall. Singled and scored in the 4th, 2-run homer in the 5th, walk in the 6th. The 0-1 in there, a strike, and it's 0-2. Yerlin's last outing was on the 12th, so last Sunday against Beloit. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Rodriguez with another Wendy's Frosty K. Hey, our next broadcast of Timber Rattlers baseball on CW14 comes your way on August 2nd. That's the Sunday game in the series against the Lansing Lugnuts. Be on the air at 1 p.m. for that contest between the Rattlers and the Oakland Athletics Midwest League affiliate, who will be coming into town for that contest. That whole week beforehand. Popped up foul. Actually, it's a fair ball for Baez. Shading his eyes, makes the catch, and Yerlin Rodriguez with a 1-2-3 inning in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Rattlers looking for that first hit. It'll be Baez, Alastre, and Walter coming up when we come back. 11-0 Quad Cities on the Timber Rattlers Broadcast Network. Juan Baez leads off the bottom of the 8th inning against Emmanuel Reyes and takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Baez has been the closest to a hit today for the Rattlers. Reached on an error on a little squibber to second. Fouls that one off, and it's 0-2. Guzman botched the play, and they did call that an error. It just took a little while for it to show up on the scoreboard, but the 0-2. Baez grounds it to third. Picked up by Cerise, and the throw to first is in time. One gone in the Rattlers' 8th. I'll bring up Luis and Alastre. Alastre walked back in the 5th inning against Chourio. That loaded the bases with 2 outs, but then Chourio wrapped up his inning and his day with his 10th strikeout by getting Walter. Yeah, Chourio with 2 walks today. That's unusual for him. Here's Alastre. 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. He'll take a ball, and it's 1-0. We do not have the rotation set for the South Bend series yet. There's a pop-up playable at short for Kemp. Backing up onto the outfield grass, makes the catch. 2 outs in the 8th. But it'll probably be good for everybody to just get back on the field. Michael Fowler loosening in the pen. He'll get the 9th. Brewers are down 1-0 to the Marlins. They're in the top of the 8th inning right now. Brewers looking for a Sunday sweep as Yannick Walter takes a strike. You know, if the Rattlers do drop this game today, it will be their first day game loss since the second game of the doubleheader against Peoria back in May. Pop fly to left, easy play for Peltzer, and the Rattlers are 3 outs for being no hit at home. We go to the 9th, 11-0 Quad Cities on the Timber Rattlers Broadcast Network. Top of 9, and Michael Fowler out for the Rattlers. He is the Rattlers' 6th pitcher, Yerlin Rodriguez, with a perfect 8th inning with 2 strikeouts. Fowler drops in a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1 to Jose Cerise. Cerise, Figueroa, and Kemp. The Rattlers will have the top of the order coming up in the 9th against Emmanuel Reyes. Will be in his 4th inning of work. Rattlers find themselves down 11-0. Cerise, he's knocked in 2. He's got 2 hits. The 1-1 from Fowler, the former Mississippi Mud Monster, misses up at 95, and it's 2-1. Popped up down the right field line, slicing into foul territory, and that's going to bounce on the warning track and get up off the netting. So it's 2-2. Jonathan will have all the scores for you on the postgame show from the Brewers farm system and the Midwest League. So Wilson got their game started today, and they went into a delay because of lightning. They were up 6-0 in the top of the 1st inning at Hickory, and then the storms came. The 2-2. Ground ball. Nice. Ooh. Got through to Dickinson. The throw to first is in time. I thought Fowler made the diving stop on that, but it squirted past him. But Dickinson able to come on and get the play for the out, and there's one away in the 9th.
Love the effort, though. That's something that Nick Stanley and Pat McGuff try to instill in these pitchers. You also got to play defense, too.
Yeah, I know it's 11-0, but I don't think there's a more competitive guy on the mound than Michael Fowler. Swing and a miss. I know it hurt him to miss so much time, but he's back and trying to get himself right. Putting up a 0 here in the 9th would go a long way to it. Fowler, last appearance for him was last Sunday against Beloit. Came in a tough spot. Stranded a runner. Worked an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Walked one, hit one. He needed just 17 pitches to get those 5 outs last Sunday against Beloit. He's 0-2 on Darlene Figueroa, who's got a 2-run homer and a 2-run triple today. He is 0-2. Ground ball foul. And I say that, I've seen a lot of competitive guys come through on this team, too. Saw that when the starters just kept throwing up gems and each guy followed the next. A little better outing. The 0-2 to Figueroa. Well, Walter wanted that one up. And it was way up. One and 2 to Figueroa, who's not digging in too much right now. Got him swinging. 95 up and away, and that's a strikeout for Fowler and a Wendy's Frosty K. That's 8. Well, we're going to need a big comeback if we want to get to 10 today. The Rattlers have it in them with the top of the order coming up, getting no hit, down 11-0. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Fowler misses up and away, and it's 1-0. Rattlers' only threat today was in the 5th inning. That's the only inning in which they've had base runners. Kemp takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Kendry Chourio retired the first 13 batters in a row. And since coming into the game, Emmanuel Reyes has gone 9 up and 9 down. Fowler missed in, and it's 2-1 to Kemp. The 2-1. Up high, 3-1. Nashville and Biloxi will be underway later tonight. There's a called strike on the outside corner, and it's 3-2 to Kemp.
Everybody clap your hands.
Beloit is up 14-7 at Cedar Rapids in the 7th inning. 3-2. Ground ball to short. Cut off by Baez, the third baseman. The toss across to Batanti. In time, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Fowler and the Rattler defense. 11-0. Quad Cities leads Wisconsin through 8.5 on the Timber Rattlers broadcast network. Fans hanging around because it's Brewers Sunday and Autograph Sunday as well, with Fox Cities Cards going to do some autographs after the game today for the players. Hopefully the Rattlers can avoid at least the no-hitter today. Trying to avoid being shut out as well. They're down 11-0. And here we go with the top of the order, Luis Pena, 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. He fouled out against Reyes back in the 6th. Reyes has gone 9 up, 9 down in his 3 innings today. 3,848 on hand here today. As Reyes gets a foul tip, and Pena nearly toppled over. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Pena pops it up. Playable at first again in foul territory for Werner. Makes the play. 1 gone in the 9th. It's been 5 years and a month and a day since the last time the Rattlers got no hit, and it was by this exact same team. Zach Hockey, and Dante Biazzi. Went a combined 9-0 no-hitter against the Rattlers back on June 18th, 2021. Dante Biazzi is notable because he is the brother of former Timber Rattler Sal Biazzi. The 1-0. Payne pops it up to shallow center field. Back on the infield dirt now is the second baseman Guzman, and 2 gone in the 9th. And Daniel Dickinson, the last shot for the Rattlers. Trying to think back, I cannot remember the Rattlers being no-hit at home. They've been close a couple of times, but have always managed to get a hit. There's a strike, and it's 0-1, and Reyes is not messing around. He's getting right after it. There was a South Bend pitcher very early when I was starting up. He had a perfect game into about the 8th inning. Dickinson takes low and away. Rattlers got their base hit on a blooper down the right field line. The second baseman made a big run after it, dove and dropped the ball, and the official score originally ruled it an E4. There was almost a mutiny. 2-1 to Dickinson against Reyes. Two outs in the 9th. The Rattlers down 11-0. And Dickinson fouls it off, and the Rattlers down to their last strike. Here we go on the 2-2 with the no-hitter on the line for Emmanuel Reyes and the River Bandits. And it's a ground ball to third. Fielded by Cerise across the diamond in time. And that is a combined no-hitter by 2 really good pitchers from Quad Cities. Kendry Chourio, 5 scoreless innings with 10 strikeouts, no hits allowed, and 4 perfect innings of relief for Emmanuel Reyes with 3 strikeouts as he goes up 12 up and 12 down to close it out. 11-0 Quad Cities over Wisconsin. Back with the line score after this on the Rattlers Broadcast Network.